Alrighty, boys and girls. Now, even though the sun just came out and it kind of looks like a different day, this is actually the same day. The sun is out now, and it's actually feeling kind of nice compared to how it was a second ago. Probably went up a couple degrees. So now, we're going to start throwing a finesse bait. So you guys just watched, I hope you guys just watched. If you haven't, go check that video out of me. We're kind of reviewing and fishing the Strike King Mega Dog a little bit, and I'm really excited about that bait. That's going to be an awesome bait. I can't wait to throw that thing. But right here, we're going to be throwing a drop shot. Show you guys what I'm dealing with here. Tiny little 1/0 Mustad drop shot hook, 1/4 ounce drop shot weight. DLC Doc's Lure Company chicken liver 6-inch finesse worm. Pretty darn excited about this bait here. I think it's going to definitely catch some fish this year, like it did last year. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to throw it around here for a little bit on this drop shot. Hopefully our rod tips and rod guides won't freeze up instantly. But it's a little bit slower way to fish. In this muddier water, I don't know if we're going to get a whole lot of bites. But if we do, then hopefully we'll be able to capitalize on it. Drop shot is probably one of my favorite slow fishing baits. I absolutely love to slow fish a drop shot. I think that out of all the finesse baits, drop shot, shaky head, Ned rig, there's so many more that I'm not thinking of. Nico rig, wacky rig. I think that if I had to pick my favorite two, number one would be a drop shot, and number two would be a shaky head. Just because, I mean, one of my former personal bests came on a drop shot. I caught that fish 2 years ago, I think, almost 5 pounds. We didn't have a scale at the time, but my dad has caught a few 5-pounders in his time. And I've caught one 5-pounder in my time. So I'd say that fish was probably a good 4 3/4 pounds. Pretty nice fish for the place that we were fishing. It was a pretty good fish because that place that we were fishing there that day was really hard to catch anything, and the fact that we were able to get that fish, that big of a fish to bite, was pretty cool. In that same lake, actually, with the same drop shot rig that I was throwing that day, just a better hook, because the hook that I used on this fish broke. I had broke the hook on probably a 6.5 pound bass, and that kind of hurt the old soul a little bit, but you learn from your mistakes. And that mistake, the mistake I made that day, was using a junky hook and trying to force the fish to come up from the deep water, trying to horse the fish in a little bit too much. That's something that you have to learn in bass fishing, especially finesse bass fishing, is don't try to horse the fish in, because if you do that, you can break hooks, you can break line, especially if you're using light line. If you're using 10-pound tests like I'm using, you can force those 2 or 3 pounders in a little bit easier. But if you're fishing 6-pound, 8-pound line, I would go a little bit easier on them, especially if you're going after 4 and 5 pound fish, 6-pound fish. Especially in the summer, because summertime those fish get mean, they get aggressive. Summer and spring, they fight like crazy, and it wouldn't take very much for a 5-pounder to break 8-pound line. I've seen it done. I've seen people break 20-pound line on 6-pound fish. It's not uncommon for a big fish, a relatively decent sized fish, like a 6-pounder, to break 10 to 12 pound line. It's not uncommon. It's happened before. I'm sure it'll happen again to some people. But you never want to really horse the fish in, because if you do that, then you're taking a chance of not only breaking your line, but also breaking your hook, and that is a bad thing. You don't want to break your hook or your line, really. You don't want to break anything, especially when you're horsing in a big fish. You don't really want to break your line at all. But it happens. That's why I don't normally, nowadays, I don't normally go any over or any under 10-pound line. 10-pound line is about the lightest line I'll go with, unless I'm fishing for light little bluegill. Ooh, there's some. Okay, sorry about that if that was really loud in your headphones. If you wear headphones, I usually don't, but the wind just decided to switch from going from the southwest to the northeast, like just completely switched around. So we're going to try to stand about right here, and we're going to fish for a little bit. The lighting looks decent right here. But anyway, like I was saying, you know, I normally don't go anything under a 10-pound test unless I'm fishing with a ultralight rod with, you know, small little gear for big old bluegills and stuff. That's a lot of fun to do that. But other than that, 10-pound test, and even most of the time when I'm bluegill fishing, you know, I'm throwing 10-pound or 8-pound. So, big thing with drop shot fishing, especially in cold water, is bottom contact. You want to keep that weight on the bottom as much as possible if you can. Look at this, the wind is now coming back from the southwest. What in the world is this wind doing? I'll tell you what, the weather around here is crazy. It just literally made a giant circle and went from going from the southwest to the northeast just like that. I mean, it was crazy. I don't understand how it did that or why it did that. I don't know, but I heard that like 4 tornadoes touched down in Tennessee. So if any of y'all are watching from Tennessee, I hope everything's all right. Hope everybody's doing all right down there. I don't understand it, man. This weather's been wild. It went from, you know, minuses as the highs to being, you know, 60 degrees back down to the 30s and 20s. And then having tornadoes down in Tennessee and huge flooding rains and stuff. I don't know anymore, man. We've got some wild weather. It's crazy anymore. Weather is getting to be quite crazier than it used to be, that's for sure. But drop shot fishing, you guys can see there, I'm using kind of a darker, more natural color for this drop shot rig. I like this color a lot because it is a very natural color. It's not, you know, your traditional green pumpkin or June bug or, you know, pumpkin color. It's a darker purple, darker brown, kind of a mix between purple and brown, and it's called chicken liver. It's a darker purple. Ooh, dang gum, that wind is strong, man. It almost pushed me in the pond. Holy crap. I don't know, man. It's craziness. Now it's coming from the northwest now, so I'm glad I walked over here. It's right at my back. I can feel it pushing me. It almost feels like somebody's trying to push me in the pond. But this color is a little bit different than normal colors that you see people throwing. You guys can see there, it's more of a darker purple brown, and with that purple flake that I put in the chicken liver color, it is incredibly cool looking, because you can see that purple flake in that darker brown a lot easier than any other flake, and I really like that purple with that brown color. It looks really nice. But with this color, the reason why I picked this color over like a green pumpkin or a black and blue or June bug or something like that, it's just a little bit different color. You know, I've never really seen a color like this from a lure company. It's a darker purple brown is what that's pretty much the best way I could describe it. I'll tell you what, now, I don't know, but it looks like there's a deer laying back there in that wood, just laying there looking at me. Hang on a minute, okay, we're gonna walk over there because I'm pretty sure there's a deer right over there looking at me. I don't know if it's laying down, but it looks like there's a deer looking at me. There was a couple deer over across the road yesterday, and most of the time them deer come from across the road and then walk down through here and bed down in certain places. That looks like a deer to me. Hang on, let me pause this again. Okay, did you see it? It's gone. Dang on it, I was going to try to get on video. It's gone. It was a deer, but it's gone now. Well, since we're down here, make a few casts. Never know. Just like I said in my video the other day, you miss 100% of the shots you never take, so why not make a cast down here? Who knows, there might be a 4-pounder lurking around. Never know. That wind just decided to start coming from the south again. That's nice. I think all that's down here is that grass. Alright, we'll go back. Okay, you guys, so there is a huge gust of wind from the west right now. And you guys can probably see the ripples on the water. A huge gust of western western wind just came through and just nearly pushed me in the pond. But we're fishing here. My hands are freezing cold. Surprised the rod guides aren't frozen up yet. I keep dunking them in the water to make sure they don't, but so yeah. 10-pound test is normally the line I'll go with, unless I'm doing some light line bluegill fishing. Normally, about the lightest line I ever fish, really, is the line I use as a leader for my fly rod, and that's 6-pound. 6-pound test mono. I have been also using 8-pound test trilene, and that works pretty good. It only really works for the bigger flies, but I mean, if you know how to make a good knot, you can use the smaller flies with that bigger line. So I don't know if we're going to stay out here too much longer, because it is getting cold. That wind is getting stronger, and I don't want to catch cold, because I already got one of my family members getting it slowly, and I don't want to get it. So I think we're going to go ahead and cut this video off here. We're already over the 10-minute mark. So if you haven't checked out the first video I recorded here today, go check that video out, talking about the giant sexy dog walking bait. I'm pretty excited about that bait. Pretty excited about this color of bait too. This worm looks really nice. I think it'll definitely catch a lot of fish this year. Shaky heads, drop shots, wacky rigs, Texas rigs, and all that awesome stuff. So thank you guys for watching. If you want to purchase this bait, let me know down in the comments, or email me at the email in the description. Thanks for watching once again. Bye.